We attended the event of all events, one of the EAFC 25 launch event, which is probably one of the first times that almost everyone I spoke to, like I was at the Hudson River Derby, and everyone I kind of spoke to was like, yo, how was that EAFC, man? Yo, that looked dope, and whatever. And it usually doesn't happen to that degree. A couple people here and there, but this really felt like one of those like, wow, why were you at a party that I wanted to be at? You know what I mean? There was a little bit of envy there, and I'm like, I'm happy to soak it all up, because and also, by the way, everybody, Christine Cupo is hosting with me today, just in case anybody's shocked. But
it's the Cooligans.
But you were also there.
I was,
and
of course I was there.
This was a really. I went to the one. Were you there at the one last year?
Yes.
Okay.
And the prior year.
And like you just, they know who to invite first. I have to wedge myself in there. But the last year, it was like kind of wild because Didier Drogba I was like, oh, yo, Didier Drogba is here.
Yeah, I definitely got a pick with Drogba. I was like, I don't usually do this. However, excuse me, pardon.
Never in my life did I think I could ever be in the same room as Didier Drogba. And that was wild. But this year, Ronaldinho came through. Never that I think I would be in the same room with that man. And there was a different. Drogba's, of course, a very popular figure, a very different aura that comes with Ronaldinho in his Kango hat. My man looks straight out of the late 80s. Okay, I love it. But this was like, I got to meet Shaun White. Okay, and I'll just say this. I mean, we're mentioning Ronaldinho. I have I get starstruck from time to time. But I rarely get starstruck.
So Shaun White did it for you?
But I rarely get starstruck with footballers. I've maybe too jaded. We've been in this business long enough or whatever. There's the occasional.
Oh, great. Nice to meet you.
I mean, at this point, if I meet like, Messi, probably. There's a couple.
Think Messi would do it at this point.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to say until it actually happens. I find myself to be the last like footballer that I was genuinely starstruck by was Megan Rapinoe. When I met Megan Rapinoe, that for me that felt like I'm meeting R9 or however or whatever comparison that people might have.
Honestly, Gianluigi Buffon. That was it for me.
That's
and I was
fair.
Just like,
that's fair. We all and like again, we're in a privileged position because we get to meet a lot of players and stuff like that. But Shaun White and some people may not know, I'm an avid snowboarder. Love snowboarding. Been snowboarding since I was probably about 18 years old. I'm pretty good. So I met Shaun. I saw Shaun White and I was just like, how is he here? Why is he here? And I see him behind me. And I'm like, Carter was there, and I said, I think I told Carter, I'm like, I literally have to meet Shaun White. Like the way anybody would fangirl or whatever, I saw Shaun White, and I had to speak to him. And first thing I said to him, I said, bro, I think I might be the first Dominican snowboarder you've ever met. You are the reason like I love snowboarding so much and everything. And he was so nice. We spoke for like 10 minutes about snowboarding and everything. And I was like, bro, thank you for your service.
Thank you for inspiring a Dominican kid. No, like the crazy part is, and maybe it's just because I was so busy talking to everyone, I didn't notice or recognize half the people that were there. Like, I didn't know Shaun White was there until I saw this picture of you with Shaun White. And I was like, he was there. And then somebody's like, oh yeah, there's a hockey player. There's a basketball player. I'm like, I don't know these people. And somebody had to point out Noah Kahan for me because I also don't know him. I was like, oh, the one who has like girls circling him, like ringing around the rosy over there. I'm like, I have no idea.
Yeah, bro. You in these kind of parties, you notice who has the gravitational pull. Okay, and
it was me, obviously. But yeah, there's some folks that are just a little bit more intriguing than others, and it is what it is. But this was Dante DiVincenzo was there. Is he a guard or forward for the Knicks? And then arm sports.
Not with the Knicks anymore.
Formerly, Knicks. He's a Minnesota Timberwolf.
Oh, they got Karl Anthony Towns, didn't
That's
they?
right.
Look at me. I paid attention to the arm sports.
All right,
Woo!
bro. Okay, another Dominican coming to New York. I don't know if you know, Karl Anthony Towns is Dominican.
I did not.
And bro, coming back to his homeland, Washington Heights. Okay.
Okay.
So, but Dante DiVincenzo is there, and Alexis is emceeing, and he's making jokes, joking around. You know, kind of right next to Dante DiVincenzo, talking to him as well. And then, boom, he gets traded the next morning.
Alexis is cursed.
There's something going on. But having Karl Anthony Towns as a Nick is exciting. But so this event was, I mean, it was legitimately like incredibly fun and
it was a blast.
Star-studded.
Like, EAFC know how to throw a party. Iconoclast also, like,
Dude.
I had a ball.
Without a doubt.
I lost my voice.
Also, just if you're listening to this and within time, we're giving away EAFC 25 code. So if you want to win the game for PS5 on our Instagram, Soccer Cooligans, just go. All you have to do is comment New York is blue. Okay, so you know you might be even if you're a Rebel fan, you might be able to you might be able to win one if you're a Rebel fan.
Get the game and come play me, and I'm terrible, and I'll probably just curse at you the whole time, but it'll be a blast.
So you have some time. The giveaway is going to be tomorrow. The winner is going to be announced tomorrow at noon. So you have until then to join and to participate. Okay. And the one thing you were mentioning about not knowing who was there, I didn't know Clint Dempsey was there.
You didn't?
Literally no idea until I saw a photo of Alexis with Clint Dempsey. I'm like, Clint was there? That's how many stars were there.
I saw Clint do the get in, get out. He was smart. He was like, hi, shake hands,
bro,
kiss babies.
Christoph Fernandez was there, with just catching up with a bunch of folks. But this photo, I just want to address this photo because this is one of the craziest we started Cooligans in Alexis's kitchen.
I know.
And we have the photo right here. I'll also pull this up. It's not, I mean, it's beyond. I just cut myself. It's beyond a photo. This is, an unbelievable, come up that we.
I mean, also his fashion choices have gotten so much better.
Yes,
what is that plaid shirt?
He's also lost a significant amount of weight since that photo was taken. But this is a photo. We're looking at Alexis chopping it up. Laughing with Ronaldinho and Shaun White. What a trio. But the wild thing is that Ronaldinho posted this himself. This photo. Ronaldinho posted
it. No, it's great actually to see this sort of evolution of what you guys built, because whether or not people realize it or they want to diminish it, it's your blood, sweat, and tears, this show. And you have spent tireless hours to get to this point. And every time that you guys level up, I am so proud of you guys, and I'm always rooting for you.
Thank you so much, Cupo. And likewise, okay? It's been wild from playing we would do the Jimmy Conrad pickup games that you would host and help facilitate. Yeah. And now you're one of the main figures in NWSL, and we've seen you on Ion and all that other stuff. So it's right back at you. It's an incredible, rising tide lifts all boats, as they say. Look, and now I'm actually bleeding. I told you I cut myself. I literally cut myself.
You really do bleed for this
show.
Bro,
this blood. This is where you see it, bro. Is this go on the ISO? Can we see? I'm actually bleeding. I actually cut myself. This is what it takes.
Alexis,
if you want to succeed,
come home. I'm scared
in this business. All right, there it is. All right. Anyway, we'll sort that out at the break. But hello, everybody. Welcome to the Cooligans right here on Yahoo Sports. What's good? I'm joined by my guest co-host today, Christine Cupo. Christine, how are you doing?
I'm great.
All right, there it is. No, I'm not gonna, give a follow-up question. I believe you. But we have a lot to go over today. Obviously, we're going to talk some NWSL, the Premier League, a lot of drama there, and then we'll talk some Serie A and focus on Christine's expertise especially. But let's start with the Premier League because just more drama, more it's the referees trying to be a part of the story and everything. But we have to start with Manchester United and Tottenham. Tottenham go to Old Trafford, win 3-0, and there's obviously a red card in this game that was clearly a little controversial. So we haven't spoken about this off air yet, but let's was it a red or do you think it was not?
I mean, I can understand how it would be a red by the angles that we saw. If you're standing there as a ref, it looks like the reach is extending and he's like lifting his leg high enough that it would cause damage. And yes, like while it wasn't a super hard, egregious tackle, I think that that's what red cards are there for, right? Like to prevent the fact that we don't want somebody breaking a leg in the middle of a match.
So that's it. So, and that's true because this was a, whenever red card is issued, the internet goes ablaze and everybody,
right? Because nobody wants their team to be playing a man down. The reality of it is you're not giving a red card for intention. You can playfully kick somebody in the face or do it with malice. It doesn't matter. It's still a kick in the face or near the face.
So I get that, and that's a good example. And it always brings me back to, do you remember? This must have been like 2018 or 19. This was when Kaká was at Orlando City, and he playfully grabbed Aurelian Collins' face and pulled, like he went from behind him. It was a stoppage of play. The players are kind of like arguing about something, and then playfully Kaká grabs Aurelian Collins and goes from behind and goes like this to his face and like pulls his face as like, haha, you're like a goofball, and he gets red carded and he gets sent off, and he's like. Even Aurelian Collins was like, bro, he didn't really do anything. I mean, we're just like kind of playing around. And the ref was like, no, you can't do that at all.
Contact is contact.
But this was not that. So this, I'm not a Manchester United fan. I am not a Tottenham supporter. I have no skin in the game. This is I've had it. I've had it with this, it's not even about inconsistency. I think the refs in the Premier League are getting way too casual with giving these, not even red cards, because we can talk about the examples of Arsenal and the Declan Rice kicking the thing away and Trossard or whatever, but the impact of the decision to make such an impactful decision that will send a player off. I think the refs are being way too casual with this. This is
meaning too harsh, casual,
too harsh, yeah, too like. Oh, we gotta make sure we gotta get this out of the game or whatever. But so I mean, look, you can't every situation the Arsenal stuff and the delay of game, like they're all circumstantial. So I'm not saying all of them are the same. All I'm saying is that as a neutral, I want to watch these games at 11v11, and anything that for you to send off a player, they gotta do something. To me, at least in my opinion, in my subjective opinion, that is like worth sending them off and changing what this game is going to look like. So as an entertainment product, I'm like, I don't want to see Bruno Fernandes sent off for this. And some people, look, I posted it. The comments are just like, oh no, that's a clear red every single day of the week and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, all right, if you look at from the ref's perspective, he's standing kind of behind Bruno Fernandes in that direction of the challenge. James Maddison goes to the ground like a Neymar-style dive, and fine, I understand. You want to get at least a yellow. But the fact that when you look at it, whether it's in slow motion or not, he hits him with the side of his boot to his shin. Yes, but it's not direct. It's not studs directly into the leg or foot or anything.
I think the problem was the angle that he came in at. The way that his leg was positioned did not look like it was going to be able to get the ball at all.
Correct.
And then he clipped his leg. So that's reversing it back. So in the same vein, when referees, obviously the rules are the rules, right? Every referee is tasked with in their interpretation of that rule on each play, match over match. There needs to be consistency, right? And I think that as for me, even if you feel like it's not fair or it's unjust, as long as it's consistent, I'm okay with it. I might not love the call, but if it's black and white, and it's not always, right? There's the shades of gray in between there because there's that level of subjectivity that gets added to it based on a referee, what they feel, whatever. I'm okay with it. And I think with that call, like it's the unfortunateness of like, yeah, like I think it was a red. Like the angle that he came in at, the way that his leg was at, like it wasn't. But also, I think he was doing that in a point of frustration.
Yeah, I mean,
And you're not always the most level-headed, but also you're the captain. So, like, quite frankly, get it together, man. Like,
yeah.
can it up, figure it out,
But
refocus
look,
yourself.
we're looking at it now. I mean, I can't show it on the show, but this is look. You see Bruno Fernandes. He's pointing at the side of his foot. He's like, I didn't catch him with my studs. It's in my opinion, this is a really fairly soft. I understand.
Right,
I understand.
But again, it looks like there's no way he could have gotten ball. So there was no intent to
but
go
he
ball.
slips. But so
right, he does slip, and I get that.
So,
the problem there, in my opinion, is that again, it's what happens, not what the intention was.
100%. But even what happens, the outcome is not severe. The contact is not severe. It's generally pretty. It never says you can never hit a player high up on the leg ever.
Right.
Like it's a contact. The studs endangering the player. Excessive force.
Right.
Those things. And look, the Christina uncle agrees with me. She said this should have gone to VAR and it should have just been downgraded to a yellow card. And I also have seen other referees who disagree with her and disagree with us and saying like this is that it was a red. This seems like such a easily reversible call. And I also
that part I do agree with too.
Yeah.
Now, if they refuse to toss it to video review, that's another story.
Yeah, I mean the excessive force aspect of this red card is, to me, it does not meet that standard. He slips, he slightly catches him on the shin with the side of his foot. There's no real force. I understand from the ref's perspective, the way he's looking at the angle and the reaction from James Maddison. Okay, this is a red. In my opinion, it's Kavanaugh. I forgot his first name. The ref. He should have given a yellow here, and then.
Oh yeah, absolutely undeniable yellow. I also can see why it went red.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's no chance that this should have just gone away entirely.
It's also Manchester United, bro. How many more handicaps do they need, bro? Don't give it. They're already struggling.
Bruno, please keep your feet planted in the pitch.
But this is the thing, there's an entertainment to even Manchester United struggling is entertaining. I mean, like let's be 100%.
Yes, but like struggling with 11 men fielded.
That feels a little bit better.
Right. You're kind of punching down in the worst way possible when you're like, yes, now we're also going to be without our captain.
Yeah. Because I'm I'm watching all my friends and the United friends and stuff like that who do a lot of content around the team. But then Mark Goldbridge, you know that guy? He's the white dude that screams about Manchester United. He's like a kind of a maniac. He screams about this team.
I feel like that is the descriptor of like all fan channels. I don't know.
But he, so when Mark Goldbridge is upset, I'm happy, right? Because he's entertaining to me. He makes me laugh, and because his anger makes me laugh so much. And he was reacting to the red card given. And he's looking at the referee and he's like, look at him. He's smiling. He can't wait to give this red card to Bruno. And it's just like, bro, I love the conspiracy theories around this. So I'm like, part of me is just like, yeah, this is, I feel bad because it seemed like a ridiculous red, but the entertainment that comes with
entertainment of the story that people tell themselves around events is always absolutely priceless.
It's surreal. So a lot of people hate those fan channels and whatever, but look, I mean, I'm a fan. Look, these are just content creators having a good time. It's a free market. Contribute whatever content you want to contribute, and some people are going to like it and some people are not. But yeah, this seemed like just the wrong call. And again, that's my main point. I think it influences the game way too much for something that is not it wasn't an egregious foul and mistake, and it should have been reversed. But
yeah, I mean, with that being said, like Spurs with or without Bruno, we're absolutely dominant. They looked good. We
got to give them their flowers. I know that everybody. The comments are coming through always that people are like Cooligans. This is just another Arsenal fan channel and blah blah blah.
No, like honestly, that just sort of like pick that Van de Ven did, that maybe that full run was beautiful. And everything about that assist was infinitely more gorgeous than the ending goal. It was just like the speed, the direction, the determination. He just said, it's fine. I can carry from like midfield.
And we should
and he's fast.
And he's fast. He has a like a not even just the speed, but there's like the way he runs. He doesn't really run like a center back exactly.
No. He's got this like fluid movement to him that's just so seamless that he makes it look easy, and it probably is a massive contributor to his speed too, but just his movements, even if he's cutting, just very I don't know, he's one player that actually does really impress me.
I spoke about him a couple weeks ago. I was just like, dude, this dude is impressive. I mean, like I said, he's not, he just clearly looks like a guy who did not grow up playing center back and then just became like really tall and you know, an athletic sort of beast or whatever.
Do you think he was a victim of like the top line?
100%, because he has way too many other abilities that most center backs do not.
And he totally has like a striker name, like Mickey Van de Ven.
Mickey Van de Ven is just like, this should be Netherlands' top striker.
Like, hey, Mickey, yeah, give the ball to Mickey.
Also, when you name your child Mickey, it is definitely a choice. Is that a nickname? Can we look up is Mickey his actual name? It's not Michael, or because Mickey, I think of Irish people.
Mickey, I don't
know if he has like a
what his proper name is Mickey Van de Ven. Yeah,
that's why. Yeah. It's like when
Holland, watch it be like the top 5 boys' names.
It's like Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler's his name is not James. It's Jimmy. He's like, when people are like, hey, James, and they're like, nah, that ain't my name. My name is Jimmy. You know, it's just like when your full name and your regular name is a nickname, it's like a little bit jarring, I think, to some people. But no, Mickey Van de Ven is a great player. I think that in my opinion, he is their best player right now, and I think there's a couple of things to highlight because he's great. But what is wrong? I'm not the first to ask this question. What is wrong with Timo Werner? How many more incredible opportunities? How many more 1v1 chances that should? I mean, they're not necessarily easy to put away, but you are a winger that is being set up perfectly, and he had what, 3, 4?
He had like 2 straight on one-on-ones with a keeper that he just shot right at Onana. It was crazy.
And like how much longer can this be tolerated?
Yeah, I don't know. With Timo Werner, I think it's legitimately mental. It's a mental thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened or how it can be corrected, but it's really unfortunate.
Yeah, it's surreal because, you know, I mean, after the red card, obviously more opportunities are going to be created, but this man, what did I see? I saw somebody said, it might have been expressions or somebody, but they said like Timo Werner can't even finish a piss, which is just such a funny. I've never heard that before,
no.
And it made me laugh so hard. Like, how much more criticism can he was at Chelsea, same kind of issues, didn't.
Okay, but here's the thing: as I always offer players as they move on the Chelsea discount, because I feel like Chelsea ruined a lot of players while they were there.
Right.
I'm not even saying that in jest. I'm being completely realistic. There had been so many issues at Chelsea that for season over season, there were a lot of really talented footballers that got wasted. And then they've moved on and we've seen them turn the corner and have outstanding careers. Unfortunately for Timo, that doesn't seem to, he can't get that stink off of him. I don't know.
Yeah, he was at, he went from Leipzig to Chelsea, right? If I'm not mistaken. I think that was the move. I'm almost sure that was the move. And then he went back on loan to Leipzig last year. And now he's back in the Premier League. And just kind of more of the same. I think that it's one of those things where you see what he did before he got to Chelsea. He was doing well. He was doing well in Champions League, and it seemed like a natural progression. Like, oh
yeah, I mean, for him to come back and sort of be a boomerang, you would think that he would still be performing. And eventually you kind of have to have, I think, a come to Jesus. It's like, maybe I'm just not suited for the Prem. Maybe I belong in another league where I'll actually thrive.
Yeah, it's kind of a shock. So, but no, you got to give credit there. At Tottenham, they seem like they're going in a good direction. Solanke is scoring goals. We're seeing the bow and arrow celebration. He seems to be having a good time. But I think Brennan Johnson is also the fact that he now who was it that wasn't tracking him? I think it was Diogo Dalot.
I don't know, but Van de Ven he picked that ball off of Rashford, didn't he? And it was like clean, like impossibly effortless.
Yeah.
I think that was sort of my mental note watching it, where I was like, oh wow,
yeah.
Like,
and it's also the it was Manuel Ugarte's first game, and there was a little bit of he had that quote about when we have.
Oh yeah, it's when we have the ball, it's a match, and when we don't have the ball, it's war.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, this guy's gonna have foaming at the mouth.
Okay.
And he's just like watching Van de Ven run by him, and like not really doing anything. It's like, okay, what's all this about? I'm into the war. You talking about? I don't think you're ready for battle, sir. But but so it's good to see Brendan Johnson score, and then he had a little bit of that. He was getting, I believe, racially abused on social media, and he has shut off his Instagram, and the people were commenting about it, which is obviously, I mean, we talked about this.
That's disgusting, and I feel like I've talked about this so often, but I cannot believe this is still happening.
Yeah, it's
by his own fans too.
Oh, okay.
By like Tottenham fans, he was getting abused. Like,
so
which is insane.
I mean, ridiculous and absurd, and yeah. What are we gonna say that we haven't said before? But please don't do that. If you are a person who listens to the show, please don't do that. But yeah, so it's good to see that. So, but we were talking about Chelsea. So we should talk about their game. Cole Palmer scores 4 in the first half. And I forgot who they played. Who did they play? We'll get.
They played Brighton.
They played Brighton, which is kind of a shock.
Brutal.
Brighton is not a team that defensively, especially, would play that poorly regularly. But
yeah, but like that's also how they've come up with so many draws consecutively. Eventually, you need to, I don't know, attack.
Yeah, this is a weird year. I mean, they have a new manager. Who their manager is how old? He's like 32. Fabian Hersler. What's his? 31 years old. To have a Premier League manager at that age is a right. He has to deal with the questions every single game.
Yeah,
it's just like literally every single game. It's like, how do you do it? It's like talking. I'm gonna date myself, but Doogie Howser. You know what I mean? Like it's a little bit of how does he do it? He's a child. But
I'm like, I'm too young for that. I'm like, oh my god, Doogie, you just unlocked a memory for me.
That was when I was a kid. But there's a new show of like the child doctor. What's that? Oh, it might be called Child Doctor or something like that. Or child surgeon.
I'll check it out, Christian.
It was like on CBS, I believe, or something like that.
Oh well, then I'll definitely watch it.
Okay. But he has to sort of deal with these concerns because there's just like this assumption that somebody who's 31 years old cannot be a Premier League manager, but he's had a couple big wins.
I mean, as opposed to what? Some of the elder statesmen, we'll call them, that
I know, right?
Who can't actually be nimble or adjust to the current nature of the game or how, current trends and whatever. You can't stay stagnant in this game. So as much as you want to discount someone for their age, they can execute, possibly more so because they need to continue to learn faster than some of the more older managers in the game.
Yeah. It's weird to have James Milner on your team who's like 10 years older than you. That's like the funny thing.
I mean, it's weird to have James Milner on your team. You could have just stopped there.
But Cole Palmer, this is the main question I want to ask. Cole Palmer scoring 4 goals in the first half. And my favorite thing, we're looking at the FOTMOB rating, 9.9. You can't. There's no such thing as a 10. There's nothing you could. What more?
Like you literally would have to hack the system and put in your own 10 at this point.
Yeah. I mean, if a 10 is deserved at any moment, I think it's this one. But Cole Palmer is, I think, slowly becoming. I think he's clearly a great player. But is he? The question we were asking ourselves is like, is he the best player in the Premier League right now? And obviously, Erling Haaland is probably the best competition. But there's something to be said about the profile of a player like Cole Palmer, who's like, you look at Erling Haaland and the physique and the strength and the speed, and you understand.
Right, but he's also another player whose size is deceiving because you wouldn't expect him to be as fast as he is.
Totally.
Or as agile. I mean, the thing with bigger strikers is like they're usually not.
Mhm.
And your greatest defense is that they can't be nimble. And so if you step in on them, you can turn them.
Exactly. And Erling Haaland has never heard of the offside call. Never. It doesn't. You don't even need a lines person with him. He's never offside. But Cole Palmer doing what he's doing on the team that he's on, which is like obviously a lot of responsibilities put on him, but he's also there's like new manager, a lot of struggles. But Cole Palmer, given the his style of play, the fact that I think he's sort of even in the conversation of like being the best player, I think is quite impressive because I think what Cole Palmer is doing, I don't know what his goal numbers are this season, but it clearly having these 4 helps quite a bit to catch up to Erling Haaland. But I think Cole Palmer is better than Erling Haaland in this season. I think Cole Palmer is doing more with less. So I'm a little bit more impressed with Cole Palmer.
Still far off from Erling Haaland.
Yeah. So I think how I place Cole Palmer contextually is he's undeniably the best player on Chelsea.
Sure.
Ahead of this season, I had said they should build this Chelsea team around Cole Palmer. Worry about everything else, but he is your centerpiece and he'll unlock a lot. And I think that's proven to be true. Now, 4 goals in a half is extraordinary.
42 minutes.
Yeah, it's extraordinary, undeniably. Okay. But they're also playing Brighton. So I feel like my perception of it's a little bit tempered. If he was doing this against City, I think that we'd be having an entirely different conversation right now. Do I think he's that good? Absolutely.
Right.
Do I think I need more time to see if he can be consistent like this, match over match? Yes. And then I'll circle back. But the fact that we're even having this conversation this early in the season with Erling Haaland in the conversation is, I think, already pointing to a lot and high expectations for him.
Okay. Yeah. I think I'm not specifically saying Cole Palmer is, if I had to pick one and build a team around, I'm probably picking Erling Haaland.
I mean, like, Erling Haaland is not human.
Yeah, without that.
So, I mean, we're literally, like, he's just this super deity at this point of football. But
Alexis made the point a couple weeks ago. He was like, Cole Palmer is like the combination of Harry Kane and Heung-min Son. And which I think is a fair.
Okay.
I just haven't seen a player so versatile in a while, where like he scores the penalty, he scores the free kick, he can settle ball in the box and get goals. He definitely prefers his left foot over his right, but can pretty good with both feet. It's just getting more and more impressive and more undeniable. Where
like if you see Cole Palmer, you definitely are pointing like, oh, he's got something special.
Yeah.
Now, what it will eventually turn into is to be determined.
Sure.
But right now, he's so fun to watch,
dude. It's incredible. I mean, even from like at the Euros, right? You think about like how little playing time he really got.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
I mean, he's young, right? So like we're nowhere near seeing his ceiling.
But the next,
and also he's going to have to continue to cultivate what he has. But when he continues to grow, outstanding.
Yeah. If it at the next at the World Cup, Cole Palmer has to be a very, very important figure in that team. The other thing I'll obviously just have to mention, Everton get their first win. I know everybody's been waiting.
Congratulations,
Everybody's
Christian.
been asking. Everton beat Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace has sort of become a team that I almost have an affinity for, like a love with, because Crystal Palace were the team that Everton beat to stay in the Premier League 3 years ago. And then it's just one of those teams that like, you want to just, for Everton, it's like you want to just feel good about yourself, play Crystal Palace. I
mean, very unfortunately, that's a similar scenario for WSL for their women's side.
Oh, sure.
Now.
Okay.
So, I mean, definitely vibes.
Who just went to Crystal Palace from NWSL?
Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah, I know I'm drawing a blank too, but they
Katie
just...
Stengel?
Katie Stengel. Yes.
There we go.
There we go. Look at that.
Brain's still working.
But yeah, so that was great. So I don't really have much to say about that outside of that. You had mentioned this, Carter, the Friedkin bump, right? Getting the new owners. Maybe that's what did it. But Dwight McNeil, the left-footed god, just went off. He had
Mhm.
2 unbelievable goals. Bro, what is going on? I don't know. It's just like nobody even mentions this guy's name. One of the best left feet in the Premier League, dog. And his second goal, the pass from Jack Harrison, and then to pluck it out, he took a juggle and then blasted it past Dean Henderson. What a great team. Everton are going to finish above Manchester United, okay? I don't know what to tell you.
What a hot take.
Those are the facts.
Just sliding in there. Okay.
I just got to mention this because Ariel Hawani, I don't know, he's the UFC reporter.
I am very well versed because I am also a UFC fan.
Okay, so Ariel Hawani did our show recently, and we had a conversation because he had a whole sort of he was like a turncoat. He was an Everton fan because of Meatball Molly.
Okay.
So he started following Everton, and he had a falling out with Meatball Molly McCann, and he was like, "All right, you're not gonna be friends with me." They're fine now.
Okay, so they were beefing.
So he was like, "I'm not gonna support Everton anymore," which is like
a dagger,
you
right
know,
to the heart.
How could you, Ariel Hawani? And he came onto the show, and I got to yell at him right at his face, right, and it felt good. We've mended.
Did he charge you for that therapy session?
We've mended our relationship, even though he had no clue who I was before we started recording. But we're good now. But we made a little wager. We said if he's so he switched to Nottingham Forest. Now, if Nottingham Forest finishes above Everton, I lose the bet, and vice versa. So I think now we need to start having an actual conversation of what is this wager going to be? Because I mean, Nottingham Forest look like they might get relegated. I don't know. It's just Everton's going to be above Manchester United. Nottingham Forest gets relegated, and I just feel for Ariel Hawani. And but we got to figure out what the bet is going to be. We're still sorting it out. I'm
still sorting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm thinking, when Nottingham Forest finish beneath Everton, Ariel Hawani has to do 3 TikTok dances. What do you think about that? That was literally the first thought that came to my mind.
3.
3.
I think he'll try to bargain with you and lower that to 1 maybe. But
I think 3 TikTok dances.
I mean, I'll take it because I will consume that media.
Okay, so we will figure that out. So again, I have mentioned this before, but anybody have any other suggestions? Please let me know. Last thing in Europe before we get to NWSL, Christian Pulisic.
Hey,
we got it because look, obviously Christine Cupo covered and covers Serie A very regularly. I know a lot of people are now associating you with women's soccer, but you are a Serie A stan, Juventina. But seeing what is going on at Milan, who had a rough start to begin his season.
New manager, Fonseca, lots of things happening, lots of changes, lots of new personnel on field.
Right. Fonseca was dealing with the same stuff that Eric Ten Hag is kind of dealing with, right? But I think Christian Pulisic is calming those those rumors down about making a switch, and he I think it's 5 goals.
5 straight goals
in 5 games.
In 5 games.
Yeah.
The best he's ever done for
against
club
tough team, against Liverpool,
because he had
Inter.
scored against New Zealand in that friendly too.
That's right. So he is on a tear.
He's on par. So his combined goals is I think 32 now over these seasons.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
A goal contributions,
yeah.
I think. Yeah. But he is, I mean, I feel like we're talking about him every week and can he keep doing it? And we
finally should be. He's absolutely killing it in Serie A. I'm glad that he seems to have found home in AC Milan. It's a great club. Obviously, new personnel like Giroud left. We have Tammy Abraham now in there. It's been interesting.
Yeah, this is I'm excited for it because I feel like at the very least it puts pressure on the rest of the U.S. men's national team players to have Pulisic is sometimes the captain, usually Tyler Adams, but to have our best player playing to this at this level.
I mean, never mind our best player. It's great for the men's national team because even those players that are playing abroad are barely getting minutes.
Yeah.
So he's making a statement. Between he and McKennie, they're probably the stalwarts right now in Serie A for the Americans, waving that American flag.
Do you think? Well, I think I was having this conversation with Alexis, but is Christian Pulisic the best player in Serie A right now?
The best player overall or American?
Overall, no, overall.
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Who's
I think that it's very competitive. People certainly like, I mean, are we talking just positionally? Are we talking just
literally the best?
the best overall?
No one better.
I would say no, but
No.
Christian is outstanding. If you're watching this, I'm sorry. Like, you're wonderful, but you're not the best player in Serie A.
Okay. I mean,
I think there's certainly a lot of American biases that come into it that
Sure.
make people think, oh my gosh, is he one of the best American players? Yes.
All right. It's a this is to have him thrive this much and this well, and have this like heat in this so
This
consistently
renaissance
is
the thing is, all of the indicators are great, which means he's going to start exceeding his own records and goals, which that's all that we really want. And also just to see him thrive. Like, he genuinely looks like he's got some joy back in his boots in Italy. And I think that for the longest time we saw it, and like that does weigh on you as a player. Like, the mental aspect of it is heavy, especially when you're unhappy where you are, when you feel undervalued. He's absolutely appreciated in Milan.
Is he learning Italian? Do you know? Have you seen anything? I haven't, because he speaks.
I'm sure he is, because I haven't got any confirmations on it, but everyone else has been.
Yeah, he's
McKenny, Weah.
McKenny's Italian is really good.
It's very good.
I did hear it.
I was shocked.
Yeah, and I know he speaks German fluently. I know Pulisic and McKenny both. Yeah. But I can't wait for that first Italian interview with Christian Pulisic, bro. And it's gonna be.
I'm sure it's coming.
It's gonna be fluent, bro. He's gonna crush it, dog. He's gonna get all the verbs right. He's gonna get all the conjugations.
He's like, look at all the conjugations.
his hand movements.
I've got my masculine and feminine nouns all diced up here.
Bro, he's gonna do that interview on a gondola, bro. It's gonna be great.
I mean, sort of.
I mean, I'm just trying to think of
region,
Italian things, but you know what I mean. You know, it's gonna be well dressed at the very least. Okay. All right. We have we're gonna talk some NWSL next. So so come right back. All right, let's talk some National Women's Soccer League. Obviously, we got just a couple weeks left to the season, which is already feels like it flew right by. But we'll talk a little bit of controversy, more refereeing controversy, and what I love about this game is that there's never any we're never short on drama. Every time you think like, oh, I've seen every thing that could happen in this game,
and just when you think there isn't enough human error, let's introduce the machines.
Would the machines make mistake? The humans make mistake. It's great, but let's start with Gotham and KC Current, because two teams that are, I think, in Kansas City had been in much better form throughout the entire season.
Oh, yeah.
They've been kind of slipping. It's been a little tough to keep up with Orlando, which no team can keep up with them. But clearly the standard is very high. But Kansas City has been great this year, and Gotham has, like, the last few months have really turned things around. And I think we spoke about this before, but just like the leading goal scorer on the team is Ella Stevens, which is just like, nobody expected that.
Breakout star. I knew she would be good, but I didn't know how good she'd actually be.
Dude,
and I mean, Coach Juan Carlos Amaros tried to tell us. He said, like, she's a Gotham player. And like, now I know what that means with a little asterisk.
Sure, yeah.
You know that she's going to dig her heels in and we're all in trouble.
She carries herself with like a swag we're sort of not used to from player, maybe a player that we're not used to, like maybe not seeing on the national team or whatever. Like, she's definitely already kind of making her name for herself, and then maybe even a national team shout. That's a little tough.
I don't know. Emma's on her little NWSL tour right now, just watching people play. You never know.
She's I mean, like, the competition is obviously fierce when it comes to strikers, but yeah, it's been, I think she should get a nod for sure. But Gotham played Kansas City a couple days ago on Saturday, and this game was 1-1, and that felt right given how good both teams are playing right now.
Yeah. I mean, Kansas City have been known to leak goals. That's been their primary deficiency. But since they've added Alana Cook, they've gotten a lot better defensively. They have never been at a lack for firepower. They have so many different goal scorers that everyone is a threat literally on that squad. So that hasn't been a problem for them at all, versus a Gotham side that are fairly well-rounded and also deep, just like Kansas City Current are. Gotham have sort of, I think, revisited their goal scoring problem. They're just having a problem finishing. They have created a ton of chances. And, what ends up happening here is, like eventually the goals come, the form, the movement, all of that is right. They've had this problem in the beginning of the season. They fixed it. I'm sure that going back into playoffs, they will have to address that again. But they've just, both teams, absolutely dynamite.
Yeah. So this game was 1-1. It was an own goal. And then then the goal from Shawinga, which was again
Shawinga is undeniable.
She's it's just the pace around the goalkeeper and like look
not the pace. Yes, it's the pace, right? You had Neely Martin running for her life trying to chase down Temwa Shawinga.
Yeah,
Temwa Shawinga doesn't make any feints or movements. She's coming direct. She has no fear in her eyes.
She just hits the turbo button.
And she gets right in front of the goal mouth. And Katrine Berger goes to reach with her fingertips. She dribbles carefully around Anne-Katrine Berger's fingertips and then scores that goal. It is so nice.
It's I love so Neely Martin chasing her is the funnier part because you see her running. And you can't exactly see her face clearly.
No, you see pain face. Where you're leading with your neck. Okay, right. I was a former sprinter, so I know this. You're running with your neck and you're just trying to keep up. You're pumping your arms. Things are not going your way. You are literally just pacing her.
Right. It's like when you watch like the New York City marathon runners that are just making it to the like not the professionals, you know what I mean? It's just like people,
the ones that are trying to get under three hours, and
those who at the end of the run, the ones like if Neely Martin was if there's a video of Neely Martin like struggling to walk down subway stairs, like that would make sense to me because he was trying to say Shawinga. That's how the frustration in the running of is like, damn. Tell me, why are you so damn fast? Why are you making me work this hard?
Effortless.
Her
movements, everything that she does are these micro movements, even when she's on the ball in tight spaces, that looks like she's just exerting minimal effort, and she will dance through you.
I think the prior game, the goal that she scored from the great pass from Labanta.
Which one in the last 8?
I know. I think it was just the week prior, but it's just you can see how.
Yes, what I love about the Labanta connection is we're finally getting celebrations out of Temwa Chawinga. That was her birthday. So her celebration for that goal was
the birthday cake.
Lo had that birthday cake on when she blew out her candles. I love that she's just so humble too.
Yeah. So it's great. You can just clearly see she's clearly an important asset to the team, but it's great that she's linking up so perfectly with the rest of the squad. But I want to talk about a controversial moment, the own goal, from Gotham, because there was a controversial moment, a collision with the referee. It was Michelle Cooper.
Yes.
That bumps into the ref. This is a loose ball, and it's looking like it looks like Michelle Cooper is probably going to get the ball. It's a 50-50 ball. Like,
right. She's tracking. Michelle Cooper is excellent at this, by the way. She'll usually win her duels.
Yeah.
And
this is, we're looking at it, and the ref is just body checks her out of the way, and it ends up leading to the goal.
Right, coincidentally, off of Alana Cook.
So, if people are not aware of the rule, the referee is considered a part of the field, right? So it's if a player bumps into the ref, that is not a stoppage of play unless there's an injury. But if a player, if the ball hits the referee, then it's a stoppage of play and it's a drop ball.
To be fair, Michelle Cooper should have just went down. I'm being dead serious.
Just literally just collapse on the ground. Down. Yeah, that way, head injury. Oh my God. Like, I got a concussion, ref. You got to stop the game.
Like, you can only think about this in retrospect because you don't know that this is what's going to be the defining moment that causes this own goal. But for me, that's such a dumb rule. If there's a referee collision, it should be dead. Like, literally should just be drop ball. Then you get into the argument of like, what if it's going the other way?
Yeah,
and then it's sort of like a dog so situation, and
it's a difficult thing. But we see the collision here, and she's look. We're not like
she's literally defending Michelle Cooper from
reaching the ball, and obviously a Gotham player ends up getting it, and but this is the frustrating thing I think for Kansas City is that. You can see that they're frustrated about this, and they kind of turn off a little bit, and
because it stops the momentum.
Yeah,
you're literally tracking, and then all of a sudden you're hitting a ref. The ref's standing there with her palms up. First of all, you're standing just literally there in the central channel. What do you think's going to happen?
Yeah.
How are you not looking more alive? Like, let's go.
Yeah, we were sort of trying to kind of judge. Maybe the ref's positioning was not great here.
I don't know, man. We got to get Uncle on the horn and say, hey, Uncle, where should you be if this is happening? And players are now making solid straight runs and you're just standing. Like, she's watching.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. Michelle Cooper she was going to get the ball, like 100%.
I know.
Yeah,
and that's the frustrating part.
Yeah.
She wasn't going to lose it. She literally got blocked from it.
Yeah, and it's just, I mean, look, ref is not looking, head on a swivel, ref. You got to keep it. You can get tackled at any moment. And a frustrating.
I mean, it's fortunate this doesn't happen all the time, but also when it does happen, like, this is a big moment.
This happened in MLS, I think, either
but
this season.
Is also like this win for Kansas City matters.
Yeah, it would have been. I mean, so everybody's really fighting for a playoff position,
right.
And it's pretty tight. What we're looking at it now.
Orlando they're the Pride, 3rd and 4th seeded teams right now.
Yeah, so Orlando Pride with 54 points, and I mean they. Unless something crazy happens, they're locking the Shield. But yeah, Gotham is in 3rd, and Kansas City is in 4th. This is this moment.
It significantly impacts things, and quite frankly, just with the way that Kansas City have been playing, they have been dealt some losses recently that they hadn't experienced all season long, that they really needed the win.
Yeah, so I can see why they're like the controversy is there. Yeah, this seems like, look, I think the rules are pretty clear about it. I don't know if this is something that should be changed, because it's
I don't know how you change it.
It's a slippery slope.
Like,
if you
talking to the ref and being like, "Girl, what are you doing?"
Yo, ref, get out the way. I got it. I don't know. So yeah, frustrating for Kansas City and their fans, but still anything can happen in this season, in the remaining games. The other player I wanted to talk about, Melanie Barcenas, gets her first goal. The kid. I wanted we made when she made her debut, when she signed with the team, we made a clip that went a little viral because we were talking about the response to her signing, because the response on all the San Diego Wave posts about it were like, it was like concerned moms being like, she's so young, she's never gonna have a childhood again, why would you take this away from her? It was just like very strange, right? And so we were joking around about it, and it kind of went viral, and I know Melanie Barcenas liked it, because
it's so weird to me though that these conversations only happen around female soccer players.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, so
the guys are like, yes, sign him from the womb, it's fine, let's go. Little Joey's got it, he's 3, I'm sure you can put him on. A
9-year-old wonder kid, give him $200 million, he got it, he's gonna save Manchester United.
Like, especially when like Olivia Moultrie set the precedent seasons back with the Thorns. Like, this isn't new, and the game's going to continue to evolve.
So she got her goal. They were playing against the Reign, if I'm not mistaken, and it was, and I'm glad it was a goal and not in own goal, because it did deflect off of a player. But it was the Thorns. Oh, the Thorns. Apologies.
As I say, I'm like, I was on that game.
Yeah.
I'm like, that doesn't sound right.
Apologies. So she gets the goal. But this is the thing, and I mentioned the clip and everything before, because I think, just as I don't know if it's just as a man or just as an adult, like, watching her play, I'm like, yo, she clearly deserves to be there. She has some of the best technical ability, and it's just great to see. She's not really like a starter yet, but she's getting a lot of...
I mean, she did get a start the prior week. She started over Danny Colaprico. This week, Danny was back in, but then she was subbed on. So I think that there's a lot of tinkering going on. Yeah. But also, they're acclimating to this like aggressive attacking system.
Sure, and San Diego has their own issues. They got a lot going on, right? So they have to fix everything sporting side, and they're dealing with a bunch of stuff. But so when I'm watching her play, I'm like, clearly, like, she deserves to be there. And then when I'm watching the post-game interview of her, and I'm like, this is a little girl. She's a little girl. She talks like a little girl. No disrespect. She's 16 years old. But it's remarkable that she has the maturity that she does on the pitch. And then you forget that this is a very, very young person. And it's just like, it shows so much of like, just like everything, how people just develop into maturity and as adults. But when I watch her post-game interviews, or when I watch her play, I'm like, man, I could never do that. This is incredible. She's so incredibly talented. And then when I watched the postgame interview, I'm like, is this what 16-year-olds looked like when I was 16? Like, I don't remember. It's like such a surreal thing that I have to kind of remind myself.
Considering that like a lot of 16-year-olds look 30 now, yeah, we definitely look that young.
She looks 12 to me.
Yeah.
That's like the wild thing. So
no, it's crazy because a lot of what you see with her already is like natural talent, and she's highly coachable. So it's kind of insane. But yeah, I like that you can see that juxtaposition between like, this is what she's like as a person. This is what she's like when she's playing.
Without a doubt.
Because it shows a lot of maturity that she has focus and she's committed to this. And I love that for her.
Dude, it's incredible just seeing a player that young have that. And also even in the positioning, like she's a winger and she's like trying to nutmeg like players twice her age, you know what I mean? Like,
she's got sauce.
It's great. It's great to see. I do want to talk about just where we are in NWSL and in this season. As far as playoffs, it is obviously a top 8 go through, and this is a little bit of it is top heavy, right? Like we have really good teams and the bad teams are really bad. And it's I would say it's
the
weird.
Bad teams, there's layers to it.
Sure.
But like there's a lot of unfortunate teams, I'll say. Like Houston Dash have absolutely a lot of talent on that roster. It's just been a very turbulent season for them on and off field. Utah Royals, same thing.
Yeah.
Interim coaches and things like that they've been plagued by. Seattle Reign is honestly my most surprising in the bottom of the table.
Same here.
Because this is very atypical of a Laura Harvey side. So for me, that's the one that's glaring. And also Angel City taking a loss this weekend was very surprising because they're a team that are very good at turning it on when they know they need to make the playoff push. So that one was shocking. Been pulling for Lou. Because Bev Yanez is just absolutely infectious. Her passion for this team and just she could give me a motivational speech any day.
Sure.
Unfortunately, again, didn't pick up a result.
Yeah, this is I know Bethany Balser just was traded there.
Balser, Becky.
Boats. Yep. She's friend of the show. Bethany's been on the show before,
great.
and she's awesome. And it seems like I slightly feel like Racing Louisville has an opportunity to make it through.
I'm pulling for them. This would be their first playoffs if they manage to squeak in.
The concern, you mentioned Angel City. Angel City is, and we've been there. We were at the. This is also, I've mentioned this before, but like we were when the Angel City jersey reveal happened, the inaugural year. We were the first people to see it. In the room with Mia Hamm, which is just like an unbelievable thing to say.
Okay, that's like the biggest flex of your life. I know that like you've done a lot of cool things, but quite frankly, in the same room as Mia Hamm for their inaugural kit reveal is...
Don't even know. There must have been some...
I don't even belong here. I have to leave.
Just some mistake in the paperwork of who they invited, because it was just crazy that we were and literally like we're all seeing it at the same time. Doesn't make any sense. But Angel City, given the level of support that the team gets, and they have so many dedicated fans, and just the ownership group, fanfare, everything, and like they just seem to, their supporters group sent us scarves, and they're just really cool people. And I watch Angel City games, and I feel bad. Like it's a like their fans don't deserve this, and I don't know. I don't know if Angel City...
They've been very up and down. They are a very good squad. They had injuries this season.
Underachieving with 100%.
Oh, yeah. But like they've had their fair share of injuries and things that come around. Alyssa Thompson has gotten very productive in the late part of this season where all of a sudden she's got consecutive goals coming through.
Yeah.
And that has been a confidence thing for sure. But also, again, another young player with a lot of responsibility that has managed to come through. Sid LaRue, Sarah Gordon, who's an Iron Woman in that back line. Like, they have so much talent, and I expect a lot of them. And I still think that they'll be slugging it out, but their chances are slipping away with every single underwhelming performance.
It's a thing. You make the comparison sometimes in men's soccer when, like, I was at the Hudson River Derby. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit, but they're losing 5-1, and the fans hold up a banner that says "not good enough," and there's I I don't know if it's less patience. I appreciate this about NWSL and women's soccer as a whole. There's a general more supportiveness of the players and the teams, like where the criticism over the results is not as like, it's not as loud, or the fervor is not as like intense, or at least it's not as toxic, in my opinion.
That is true.
So, but the one thing but sometimes I watch Angel City and I'm like, do we need a little toxicity to like yell at the player? I mean, a healthy amount, but I see everything else, the branding, everything else around the club, and then it's just the sporting side. I'm just like, what is going on? Because this team in playing in an NWSL semifinal in a packed stadium would be unbelievably lit.
Mm-hmm.
And why can't the team just be better? And Endo had the ACL.
Yeah, Endo was out. We finally got Kristen Press back on the field.
Yeah, so
there's
a lot to it. But then I'm just like, but everything else is so shiny and awesome that I'm like, what is going on the field? So yeah, that's my look. I'm just a little bit concerned.
I mean, there's definitely bigger questions, right? Like, are the Chicago Red Stars going to be able to stay sat where they are?
Yeah.
Portland Thorns, another team who have had issues, both front office, on pitch, and otherwise. Sorry, field. I forgot which country sport I was talking about. But yeah, it's very interesting. And then Bay FC have been scrappy too.
Sure.
Albertine is like really great. They want to play beautiful football. It's probably the best example of that in the league. It's just that as you're trying to lay that foundational work, you're not always going to get the results.
Yeah. And do you think Orlando do it? You think they go invincible?
I'm trying not to jinx them, and it's impossible to maintain. I mean, the records that they've crushed, Anna Morehouse, the team on their own individual records are near impossible. But I've already said this, that yes, they're going to be like the Invincibles this season. And it's remarkable. Like, it's so much fun. Like, the passion that they have, the joy among each other. Marta, like at the top of the table again, is just like, she hasn't missed a beat. Like, she is so sassy and hilarious, like clapping back in the NWSL replies at like at Rachel Kundananji having like sort of like megged who was it? It was like a couple weeks ago.
I forgot who.
But they were all chirping in the comments, and I was like, I cannot believe y'all are. I love the villainy of it. I do. Yeah. I love the villainy of it.
So Orlando Pride have 4 matches left. They play the Spirit, the Thorns, Gotham, and the Reign. So this is
so right now, I think the greatest tests ahead are going to be Washington Spirit and Gotham. And if they can't manage to pull points off of them, they are full steam ahead. Yeah, I think it seems like they're going to be. What Seb Hines has done is it's great. In 2.5 years. 2.5 years as one of the younger managers who started as an interim, he deserves all of his flowers. 100%, because Orlando Pride for a bit there were almost unwatchable. The teams were brutal. Think about the turnaround. And they have a Barbara Banda who's absolutely remarkable. Their scouting work is phenomenal. MVP in your mind? Very well could be. Yeah, I mean, like Showinga, Banda. I know, like, obviously Croy was in the conversation before she got injured. There's so many just standout players that, but yeah, Banda is totally deserving. 100%. Yeah, I would agree. Do you vote? Do you have a vote? I don't have a vote. There's no way. I don't have a vote. Hey, NWSL, fix that right now. I don't need to. I don't want to be too loud about it. You're like, I want to be loud enough, but not loud enough that you like blacklist me. Okay, because I'm not a voter, but I understand. I'm a voter in the MLS end of season awards. I would love to vote in the NWSL awards. I mean, okay, go to my eyes. Go to my ISO. Hey, NWSL. You just saw the segment that we recorded. It is egregious that Christine would not be a voter in the end of season awards, and we got to fix that immediately. But I just want to point it out. Use this as my pitch, my reel. As do I look like a knowledgeable NWSL a person who covers that? I don't want to call myself a journalist, analyst. But do I look like someone knowledgeable, knows the sport, has opinions, clearly watches? I watch ball. I watch the games. I know about some stats. I forgot who
San Diego Wave played against, but we corrected that very quickly. So hopefully this is enough so that I also get the email as well about how I am also now going to be a voter in the NWSL end of season award. You can go back to the wide, Carter. But again,
Carter's like, thank God.
make sure Christine has a vote. This is crazy. What are we doing? All right. The last thing in this segment, real quick, the Hudson River Derby. I mentioned it briefly. NYCFC, New York City FC. Both names are perfectly fine, okay? But they win 5-1, their biggest ever victory against their crosstown rival.
5-1 is insane.
5-1 is insane. Just very unexpected. I was there at the game, and being at Red Bull Arena, and that 5-1 was also it's it's tied for the most amount of goals that Rebels have ever lost by. So you can only go up from there.
Who did they lose by?
They lost
that margin.
I want to say Orlando or something like that. I forgot who was the other team, but they've that's the second time. So for your Derby rival to also have that honor is just it was great to be there. I mean, it's two very early goals off of high press and forcing mistakes from the Rebel goalkeeper Coronel and everybody. And there was something to the funnier thing here. It's just like, people can have all the banter or whatever, but they had a fireworks show scheduled after the game.
Ooh.
So they lose 5-1.
What is it, like events that proceed or follow unfortunate events or whatever?
So they lose 5-1 and then have the most beautiful fireworks show afterwards. And I'm like, yeah, thank you.
See, so then you can pretend that you're crying at the beauty of the fireworks and not that Red Bulls just lost by 4.
But a funny detail about the fireworks show was most fireworks show are usually beautiful and colorful and everything. And so obviously the most featured color of all the fireworks was red. It's all over the place. And I'm watching this fireworks show and I'm like, why is there no blue? Of all the colors.
I was gonna say, honestly, I respect the pettiness here because it would honestly be the Bloods throwing up blue fireworks. You can't be doing that.
You can't even be caught having a blue pen at home. You know what I mean?
No.
It was just such a funny detail of like you said, pettiness and just a clear and it's just, again, every other color besides blue, but just so wild. But congrats to New York City FC. A big win. Yeah, this was and they flipped in the playoffs, so they're above them now. And an important game. And then to win by as many goals as they did, I think kind of says a lot.
5 goals.
How
many goal scorers?
2 from Alonso Martinez, 1 from Maxi Morales, 1 from Andres Pereira, and 1 for Tavon Gray. His first career goal for Tavon Gray, the right back for New York City, and with his left foot, he's right-footed. It was just what a day. Everybody just had a great time, except if you're a Rebel fan. But no, shout out. I did see a lot of Rebel friends, a lot of the homies. Got to I was, pour your tears in this cup. I have it with me. I need to drink it during the fireworks show. But it was fun. So shout out to NYCFC for getting that big win. All right. We got another quick break, and then we'll be back to wrap up the show. Come right back. All right, we're going to wrap with this. We got a couple things I'm going to show you, Christine. We're going to react to some fun clips. This first one, this is a gentleman in I guess this is in the Czech League, Czech Republic. I don't know if it's still okay to call them Czech Republic, but some people may not know what I mean when I say
talk sports
Czechia.
ball. I don't know.
So we have to figure it out. Similar to the way Turkey wants now, in English, wants to be called Turkey.
Turkey?
Turkey.
Turkey?
Yeah.
But that wouldn't be English.
But that is what they want to be called because they want to be associated with the animal turkey. in English.
I see. That's
So
a very weird
it's a
thing
r-
to be preoccupied with.
I think it's I think it's probably for their Google searches. They're like, we're tired of getting confused with the animal.
I mean, I'm tired of trying to search for women's games and getting only men's pop up in Google search, but I'm not trying to change the way that we say them.
Well, you should be. Okay, I support it. Anyway, so I wanted to show you guys. So this this happens a lot of time at halftime during games, where fans will line up to take a shot. This happened in basketball from half court. Win $1 million or whatever. To if you make a shot from half court. But this guy had an opportunity to win 1 million koruna, which is we've determined is $44,000.
Okay.
So all he had to do was make a shot from half field, and he makes the shot, but in just in an incredibly impressive manner. So let's take a look. Bro. What a moment. The Spartan
insane.
losing his mind, going crazy.
Yeah, I'm calling it. Like, that man's got like sleeper build for a pickup player. Like, he definitely no, because if you just pulled some random out of the stands, I guarantee you they're gonna try to like just woof it down there, just like rip it as hard as they can with no real direction.
Yeah.
That was calculated.
Dude, I mean, clearly this guy is a baller. I love that he did this in the New York Yankees hat.
Global, baby.
My man is just the brand is just so
No,
big.
like the bend that he puts on that, and also just the right amount of force to get it to meet the goal mouth.
Yeah, this is impressive.
It like rolled in.
It
It wasn't like it like struck the net or anything.
It was very much like
dead center.
I've practiced this shot quite a bit. And just the angles are absolutely perfect. But no, my man is 1 million koruna richer. And I wish I had 1 million koruna. That'd be nice.
I'll take.
I also learned about a new currency today. The koruna is koruna.
As far as I know, I'm not well versed.
Got it.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
good.
We're just making up currency here.
No, all good. And then the other thing we gotta mention before we wrap up is in this is in Turkey, right? The Turkish league, because our homie Jose Mourinho is there as a manager for Fenerbahce, and he made news again because he was upset about an offside call so he basically felt, and I don't know the ultimate sort of result, but or if he had any case. I don't know if he had a case about this, but he was upset that like a goal was overturned and VAR overturned it very quickly. So he was apparently upset that they made the decision way too quickly, and he decided to go to pull his laptop, and he put his laptop on the screen of the camera. So the camera for that is next to the VAR. We're looking at the photo. So he puts the laptop in front of the broadcast camera that is right next to the fourth official and where the VAR is. And he's immediately yellow carded for this. You can't.
You know what? I respect this yellow card, because who among us haven't been wronged by VAR? And I get it, right? Like, you're like, that was too quick. But here's counter argument. VAR is supposed to be like clear and obvious, right?
Yeah.
So why are we spending like 20 minutes on a VAR review to pin back and be like, oh yeah, his toenail's offside? Like, that's crazy to me.
That's an annoying thing. I mean, like, and everybody has that like frustration and concern, but this is
I love him. I love him. Like, if there are no Jose Mourinho fans, I have ceased to breathe.
So he gets yellow carded for this, but this is just again, I mentioned it earlier about like, you think you've seen everything in this game. You think there's no real way for somebody to surprise you. And Jose Mourinho says, no, I will find something new. And for him to grab it, he's like, nah, I'm not going to text the VAR. I'm not going to, no, he's just like, I'm going to put my laptop right? And we're seeing his documents on the desktop and everything. It's his it's a company laptop. So it's just so wild that this man goes to there's no extent he will not go to protect his players, his team, his job. It's just so impressive. So you're gonna anger some people if you do this, but you gotta give it up for Jose Mourinho for being just finding a new way to be petty. And we all respect it. We all look up to it. I expect. If Jose Mourinho was on a Love Island being petty, I would be like, okay, this fits. I understand. This is the type of character that
I love
we
that
need.
you picked Love Island.
I don't know.
Is that what you've been watching regularly?
Nah, I just finished Love Undercover. Have you seen Love Undercover?
I don't watch reality shows. Like, I literally just watch football all the time.
This is the one you need to watch. Okay? That's how it's actually really good. And
actually, that's a lie. I watch football all the time, and then like Bad Monkey I've been watching.
Bad Monkey is what?
On Apple TV.
Okay. Oh, yeah, okay. That's
it's actually good.
With Gyllenhaal. Gyllenhaal?
No.
Who's in this one?
Vince. Is that his name? I'm really bad at this.
Not good.
I'm like, never ask me who an actor is or any of the above. I have no idea.
Okay.
But it's actually good.
All right,
you should watch that.
I
Maybe I'll watch one of these smut shows.
I think Helene watched it, if I'm not mistaken, because I saw her.
Talking about Vince Vaughn.
Thank
Vince
you.
Vaughn.
See,
Yes, she did watch it. She did watch
I
the
should
show.
be better at knowing names.
I'm thinking
Thank
of
you.
It was a Bad Lawyer. That was the other one on Apple TV that I think Jake Gyllenhaal is in, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, this has been a promo for Vince Vaughn and Jake Gyllenhaal.
For Vince Vaughn and Bad Monkey. You're welcome.
Okay. All right. We'll send you we'll let you know where to send the check to Cupo. Everybody, thank you again for tuning in. Make sure you follow and support our dear friend Christine Cupo. And I just want to mention, because we're looking at it on the screen, it says it is blue, and it suggests that we don't follow you. But we've been having there's a weird
interesting. It's a weird way to find out that we're not friends anymore.
There's a weird thing, like a weird.
Are you gonna like click unfollow on my forehead now too? We're really not friends.
I was like, before
we
the show.
got beef?
Before the show, I had to unblock you.
Is it all the times that I screamed at you while we were playing?
Yeah, I haven't forgotten. But
I know that PTSD sticks with you.
I don't know if people know this, Cardi. Christine is a general on the pitch. Literally, doesn't matter if she's known you 5 years or 15 minutes. She will scream at you on the pitch if you're not where you need to be.
Oh yeah.
Not
Track back.
not
Give it line. Look,
Not
you have
surprised.
an angle. Cross that over. Like I am like full on actively coaching while we're playing, and then getting really upset when like somebody is dispossessed.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I am a demon. Like I am a lovely person, right? I do charity work. I love animals. I smooch babies.
Yeah.
On field, menace. Absolute menace.
But there's a glitch on the Instagram, like when you go on the browser, where people you follow, it looks like you don't follow them. This happened with pretty much every guest we've
So
had.
you've kind of like followed and unfollowed everybody in
well,
series?
I just refollow. I don't know if you can
Are
double
we your
follow.
bucket list? You're just unfollowing as you get us in the studio?
No. So everybody go follow Christine at Miss Cupo on Instagram and at Christine Cupo.
C Cupo
on X or
I refuse.
Twitter.
It's
Yeah,
Twitter.
It's Twitter. We all know it. So thank you again for joining me. Always shout out to Christine for coming through. Alex, I didn't even mention where Alexis was. Alexis is he's going to Champions League? What's he doing?
Arsenal.
Is he going to
Arsenal-y
Arsenal?
things.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, this is how we do. We don't even talk.
Come on, you Gunners! Yeah.
Once the microphone shuts off, I'm like, Alexis, get out of my face, bro. I don't know what's going on with your life. So he'll be out this week, and we have another guest host on Thursday that people will be excited about as well. It's gonna be dope. With a little tease, all right? You're just
excited about. Was everybody excited about me?
Yeah, so very much.
Damn.
I mean, they don't call it Cooligans for nothing.
The Cooligans, I know.
So you got the brand is strong with.
I got to make a T-shirt next time.
So we'll be back on Thursday with a new episode. We have another guest host, like I said. I think U.S. men's national team fans are gonna be a little bit excited about this one. So tune in, and we'll see you on Thursday. Everybody, take care. Peace.